Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? It's not quite the evening yet. Should we do a time and temperature check? It's cooler outside than it feels. It is warm today. It feels really, really warm and humid. But we were coming back from brunch, and I looked at the temperature, like Alex's car, says like the temperature outside, and it said like 78. And I was like, there's no way that it's 78 outside. It feels like it's like 85, 86, something like that. But when I got on the weather, I think it said it was like 76 or 78 and partly cloudy. It is partly cloudy. The sun keeps on coming and going, so the lighting on here is going to be horrible today. I already know that. Okay, so the time is currently 3:45 p.m. And let's see what the temperature is now that I'm home and the 5-minute ride that it takes us to go to brunch. The temperature is, oh, now it doesn't say partly cloudy. Now it says 78 and fair outside. So there's no such thing as fair. And I have 2 coffees with me today because I brought home coffee from Cafe Patachu. This is the blueberry crumble today. It's very delicious, but sometimes on hot days, I love a really hot cup of coffee. But sometimes I don't. And today is one of those days that I'm like, it is like hot out here. Like I need something cool to drink. So I poured myself some iced coffee as well. So I have both coffees going. And part of that is because I'm very tired right now. I don't know if tired is the word. I'm just like relaxed. I just feel completely relaxed. And I have to tell you, I bought these shorts from Birdwell. I showed them on my haul that I did the other day. Let me show you the color. Isn't that color so cute? So I bought these from Birdwell, and they're the drawstring ones. And then I matched them. Here's my outfit of the day. Then I matched them with my, what do you call them? Birkenstock sandals, just as a sand, I don't know what this color is called, sand or something like that. I love, these are like so comfortable, I love these. But anyway, got real dressy for the, what do you call it, for the brunch today. People always ask me about my ring. They're like, why don't you wear your, like I'll be in like drama videos and they're like, you don't wear your ring and things like that. I don't wear my ring unless I leave the house. I just don't. I don't put it on unless, whenever we leave the house, or whenever I leave the house, I always like put my ring on and wear it. But if I'm just at home, I don't wear my ring. So since we just got back from brunch, I have my ring on today. So anyway, this is the ring that Alex bought us a couple years ago because I gained so much weight, and so our original engagement ring and wedding band didn't fit me anymore. And so he was like, for our anniversary when we were in Vegas, he was like, I'm gonna buy these rings for us, and then when you can fit in the original rings, and you'll have 3 rings. So anyway, this ring is like pretty loose on me though now because I've lost weight. So, but I still love this ring. So anyway, yeah, I'm just like really relaxed today. In fact, I was gonna lay down because Alex is upstairs, so I know he's gonna lay down and take a nap. And so I was like, are you laying down? He was like, no, I'm just gonna relax for a little bit. That means when I get done with this vlog, I'll go inside and he and Boo Radley will be like, they'll be fast asleep. So I was like, maybe I'll just take a nap, and then once I get up from my nap, I'll vlog. And I was like, no, you need to vlog first, because if you do that, there will be no vlog today, because you'll get up and then you'll be like, oh, I'm so tired. So I was like, no, vlog first. This is like, okay, I learned this so late in life, okay? Little lesson out there to people. This is, you can take this little clip and you can show this to your kids and things like that. Do your homework first before you go and have fun on the weekends, okay? That's the lesson that I learned late in life. Also, always in speech class, give your speech first. That's something that I learned very, very late in life, like graduate school. Get the things done, first, so that, I mean, I love doing the vlog, obviously, because I'm, last night I had like this, I was making this list on my phone, and I was like, of all the videos that I wanted to film today, I was like, okay, well, I finished Under the Bridge, so I'm going to do an Under the Bridge video for my Peter Watches TV video. Then I had a whole video outlined for my drama video. And then I was like, I have these like hot fire Cheetos that I've been sitting in the closet for like 2 weeks that I was gonna review for my review channel. And then I was like, okay, I'll read a meditation for my Peterisms channel to get started for the week. And then, I've got this booktube video that I've been wanting to do for, well, I have like 10 booktube videos that I've been wanting to do. But I have this booktube video that I've been wanting to do about this collection of books, of somebody's books that I collect that I want to show over there. I'm going to kind of start doing more personal videos over there of like books that like really mean a lot to me and stuff like that. I actually just ordered 2 books the other day on Amazon. I think I said this yesterday, that I've been looking for a while. I have this like one eyebrow. I was telling you guys yesterday about how my eyebrows are turning white. I think I have the majority of them out. But anyway, I have this like one eyebrow. I think I might have gotten it. I can see it in my hand, but I don't know if it's the right one or not, if I just pulled some random eyebrow. It was like, I could see it in front of my eye. Has that ever happened to you? Probably not, because you guys get your eyebrows done so delicately. But anyway, did I get the right one? Is it still there? I think I got the right one, actually. Okay, so I had this whole list of videos that I was going to film for today. And that was last night. I was feeling very inspired and motivated. I was like, when we get back from brunch, I'm going to film this, I'm going to film that, I'm going to film this, I'm going to film that. And I got up today and I was like, I got like a really good night's sleep. And I woke up and I was like, I think I'll just film my vlog today. I think I'll film my vlog, hang out with Alex and Boo and relax. We still have RuPaul's. We did not watch Damsel last night. So we have RuPaul's Drag Race and RuPaul's Drag Race Untucked to watch. We haven't watched it yet. So we'll probably watch that tonight. And then I'll take a nap after I get done vlogging. And then I'll probably take a nap after we watch RuPaul's Drag Race. Just relax. I need a day. I think I need a day to just relax. I was like looking at this yesterday. I was like going through, you know, I like keep lists and like I cross out of like how many videos a day I've made and stuff like that. And since we got back from Miami, which like that was March 31st. So since April 1st, I have every single day since April 1st, I have filmed at least one video on my channel, the vlog, being the vlog. But typically I'm filming, I mean, that's like, I think that's like 4 or 5 days that I just filmed my vlog. Other than that, I have filmed 3 to 4 videos a day, every single day. Because I love it, you know? And so, like, once I get started and I do one, like, if I didn't start with my vlog, like, if I start with my Peterisms, let's just say, if I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do a Peterisms video and I'm gonna do my vlog, and I just started doing my Peterisms video, when I got the Peterisms video done, I'd be like, well, the setup's already here, so while that's uploading, I might as well do, like, the review of Under the Bridge. Okay, and then when I got done with Under the Bridge, I'd be like, okay, well now I'm like, I'm awake and I'm going, so let's do the drama video. That's what happens. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I'm like, it's been 3-4 hours and I'm fine. I go into it and I just can't stop because I love it so much, right? So that's why when I know that I'm only going to make like one video for the day, I just like, it's always the vlog and I go right to the vlog. So when I get done with the vlog today, I'm just going to relax. I want to read a little bit. I want to take a walk at some point tonight too. It's supposed to be a little cooler this evening, which will be good. And yeah, and then we'll watch RuPaul's Drag Race. I started last night late going back and watching season 1 of Survivor, the one where Richard Hatch wins. I don't know how many seasons I feel like I watched maybe like the first 8 or 10 seasons, and then it was like a season here, a season there, and then I just kind of stopped watching it. So it's going to be interesting going back and watching the seasons because I kind of like don't remember which ones I've watched and which ones I didn't. In fact, going back and watching the very first Survivor, we'll talk about that in just a second. So anyway, so last night when I got done vlogging, Alex was like asleep still. And I went upstairs and I was like, do you want to watch a movie or something? Or are you going to sleep like through the night or for a while? And he was so tired because he got up so early yesterday. And he stayed up late like the night before. He went to bed early the night before, but then he got up. He said he couldn't like sleep and he was like getting up all night long and stuff like that. So he was like, I think I'm going to get up in a little bit, but then I'm probably just going to sleep through the night. He's like, I'm really, really tired. I need to get a good night's sleep. Alex is really good about like when he knows he needs sleep, like giving himself sleep. And I was like, okay. So, somebody just texted me. So I came downstairs, took Boo Radley out, gave him some more food and all that kind of stuff. And then I watched the last 2 episodes of Under the Bridge. I finished Under the Bridge, which is on Hulu. It was interesting because I was like looking up the cast of the show because everybody looked kind of familiar to me, but I was like, I'm pretty sure that I've never seen them in anything before. So the main police officer, her name is Cam in the show. As soon as like I saw it, I was like, oh my God, like now I know who that is. She got nominated for an Academy Award this year for that movie that Leonardo DiCaprio was in. Hold on a second. What was the movie called? Well, I can't remember. We read it actually for Killers of the Flower Moon. So we read it for a true crime book club. I think it was an important book to read, but it was a very slow read. Like, it was a very slow read. And, but it's a really, really important piece of history to know. So anyway, she was the one that was nominated. Here's a picture of her right here with Leonardo DiCaprio. Well, I don't know what her name is, but anyway, she was nominated for an Academy Award. Her name is Lily Gladstone, and she played Molly Burkhart in the Killers of the Flower Moon. So she plays the main police officer in the show, Under the Bridge. And then I was looking up these other people. Well, what I was doing was, because at the very end of Under the Bridge, they say, like, so it's based on a true story, but I didn't know, like, which characters were real, and if they changed their names and things like that. So the majority of the characters, they kept their names, but there's, like, one character in the show, and I really wanted to know what happened to her. And so when I was, like, looking at her name's Dusty in the show, and when I was looking her up, she was like a combination of multiple characters or multiple people in real life. But then, like, the Kelly girl, the Warren guy, all these people that were in the show, I was like, where are they today? And so I started looking up to see what had happened. Well, at the end of the show, they say, like, the exact same things I found, they say at the very end of the show, like, if you, before the credits roll. And so, I'm blown away that I have never heard of this case before. This Rena Vert case that happened in Victoria, British Columbia. I mean, I am so blown away that I mean, this is like a big case. It's a case that's still going on today because one of the killers is still, like, going through court systems and appeals and things like that. And it happened in 1997. So anyway, so I was, like, looking up these people, and then I was, like, looking up, like, when I would look up somebody, like this Warren guy, it would say, like, the actor that would play him. And so I was like, who? I've never heard of this person before. And then it said something about, like, he was in Euphoria. And I was like, that kid was in Euphoria? And it said like, who he was. I kind of, like, vaguely remember him being in a couple episodes. I think they kill him off in Euphoria. But then, like, when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's what this kind of reminds me of a little bit. Like, it's really dark, you guys. Under the Bridge is so dark and so sad. It kind of reminds me of Euphoria. Because Euphoria feels so, like, when you watch it, it feels so real. Under the Bridge, it feels very similar to that. So I'm not going to ruin it for anybody. I'll just give you the synopsis of it. It's about this woman, and this is all based on a true story. It's based on her novel, or her book that she put out about it. And I think her book was called Under the Bridge. And her name is Rebecca Godfrey. And I don't want to tell you what happened to her involvement, all this, because it tells you at the end of all of that. 'Cause I was blown away when I, like, was reading all this, because I was reading all these articles about her and stuff like that. So she comes home, okay, and, like, she had a tragedy that occurred, like, in her childhood. So she hasn't been home for 10 years since she graduated from high school, so she's, like, late 20s in the show. So she comes home to write a book about the girls of Victoria, British Columbia. Basically, like, these troubled girls. It was interesting because when I was watching this last night, you know, I talked about these books the other day. I was talking about, like, Reviving or Raising Ophelia or whatever that book was called, and there was a book about boys and boys' issues. But I remember this other book that was real popular at that time too, and it was called Kids Without a Conscience. Do you remember that book? Because this girl, Kelly, in this book, or in this show, like, she's literally the definition of a kid without a conscience. Like, I mean, she's pretty scary, this character. Anyway, and she's come out in articles and said that the author, like, really pumped it up to make it look a certain way, and that she's not really like that and stuff like that. So anyway, so this woman comes back from New York City because she wants to write this book. She's had this tragedy that occurred in her family when she was, like, in middle school. Her best friend is this cop, this woman that was in Killers of the Flower Moon. And she's on the police force, and she's been adopted, and so she's trying to find her family who, she comes from, like, indigenous people in the area, but she has never known her, like, the true story behind it. And at one point, she was in this group home that's called Seven Oaks. And all these girls live in Seven Oaks. And the girl that was the writer was in Seven Oaks. They've all been, and so she comes back basically to write this book about these girls that are in Seven Oaks, these troubled girls of Victoria, Canada. But right when she comes home is when this Rena Vert is killed. So her book really turns in to what happened to Rena Verk. But it really isn't, it doesn't end up being about that, because she, like, she befriends some of these kids, and then, like, she hears her story. I don't want to tell you more than that. But anyway, so it's like her helping the police officers while she's investigating for this book, and her also getting involved in the story. It's bizarre, but very interesting. And to know the whole thing was real. Like, it's based on true events, but when you read the true events, like, it's pretty close to the show. Like, when I was reading stuff about it, I was like, this is really close to the show. And, like, they have, like, if you look online, they have, like, Rena Verk's pictures everywhere. She looks pretty similar to the girl that played her in the show. I mean, they all do. When you look up these girls, like, they look, the actresses looked, and the actors looked identical to the person that played this Warren guy. I mean, he looked exactly like him in the show. It's so bizarre. I mean, even the girl that plays the author, she looks just like the real author in real life. It's crazy. So anyway, I finished that last night. Alex at that point had, like, gotten up, and, like, the lights upstairs were on. He was, like, looking at TikToks and stuff like that. I was, like, bawling at the end of the show. Like, I was wrecked. I'm telling you right now, it's a great thriller, but it emotionally puts you through it. Like, I was wrecked. I just was like, you feel for so many people in the show. It's like, you feel for this girl, you know, that lost her life, and then you feel for her family, but then you also feel for, like, the kids that are part of it, and they're taking responsibility, and they're 14, 15, 16 years old, and they've ruined the rest of their lives, you know, and like, some of these kids are so, like, just, like, they get on stand and they take full responsibility for it, and they're like, we were all part of it, you know. It's just, like, it's, like, unbelievable, and it's just such a sad story, you know, and they're kids that, like, people had kind of given up on anyway. And so anyway, it just was, if you're looking for a great show, I'm telling you, Under the Bridge is totally binge worthy. So anyway, and and it's all done kind of like in flashbacks and stuff like that, so you know that that's what it's about, like in the first episode. So then I laid down and I took a nap, and Alex was up for a while because he was, like, looking at stuff online. I don't know what time that would have been. That would have been about 10, I think I lay down. Man, I slept. I fell asleep. Like, I was out. I woke up and it was like 2:30 in the morning. I was like, damn, how did I sleep so long? So I was like, should I just go back to bed? Well, I was, like, awake at that point because I had slept like 4.5 hours. I was like, I fell asleep real quick on my nap, and I fell asleep deep. So I woke up. Alex was back asleep again. And so Boo Radley was being real antsy, so I took him outside, got him some treats, got him back into bed and stuff like that. And then I was awake. I was like, if I try to go to sleep right now, I'm not going to be able to fall back asleep. This is why I don't go to bed early, because I would wake up super early, and then I wouldn't be able to go back to sleep. When Alex is upstairs, it's not like I can go downstairs and film a video, you know what I mean? And so, I mean, we have this open loft bedroom, so I have to be out here, and it's 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, you know what I mean? So anyway, so I went downstairs, and I was like, okay, what shows do I want to watch next? Like, I was, like, looking at different shows to binge watch. I was looking at different true crime. I was really wanting to watch some true crime last night. So I was like, well, maybe I'll watch a episode of Evil Lives Here or something like that. And then I was like, I looked at my list of, like, weekly shows, because I was like, oh, we still have RuPaul to watch. And I was like, I haven't watched The End of the Valley, and I still have The Goat to catch up on. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go watch the last episode of The Valley. Well, I go in to watch the last episode of The Valley, and what I didn't realize was I had 2 episodes of The Valley. So I watched the last 2 episodes of The Valley. I had to go pick up something that I bought for Alex I had to order at the mall today. And so the guy that helped me the other day when I was there, I don't have to keep it a secret because Alex already knows where I was going, because I put the bag in the car because he had to take me there to go pick it up today. So it's this guy that works at Gucci, and he is so nice. And so when I was there the other day, we got talking. His wife is, like, the manager of, like, Louis Vuitton. He's super, super sweet guy. And so we were, like, talking all this kind of stuff. And so when I went in there today, I was, like, so tired. And he was like, you having a good day? I go, I'm really, really tired. I go, we just got back from brunch and whatever. And he was like, oh, did you have a crazy day yesterday? And I, like, didn't connect it, like, at first. And I was like, oh, Pride. I said, no, I didn't go downtown. I said, my husband did. I said, he got back pretty early and stuff like that, but he had a good time. And I said, no, I didn't go. It was interesting, like, how many people I saw online. I saw, like, 2, this girl and this guy that I was friends with, like, back in the days when I would party. She actually got sober a couple years after I did. and has been sober all these years. But she and I used to party so hard together, and this guy is like the only like lasting member of her friend group that hasn't moved away or passed away. It's kind of sad. They were at Pride. They were the only ones that I saw that I knew of from like back in the day of people that I used to hang out with. I mean, not when I met Alex. Like I know a lot of people from like that point on, but and Alex actually didn't see a lot of people yesterday. He was like, yeah, I saw some people. He's like, I didn't, see a lot of people. Definitely, he was like, people that I know today. So it was funny because he said yesterday that the parade went on for, he was like, the parade was really long. It was like 2.5 hours long. So when we were at Patashoe today, the manager in there that we're friends with, I was talking to her because I loved her like shirt that she had on, and she was like, did you go yesterday? She was like, I saw Alex across the street. And I was like, no. And I was like, yeah. She was like, he was at the Chino restaurant. And I was like, yeah, he gets a table there every year, like they go for Pride. So a bunch of them, I didn't go. And she was like, did he say anything about the parade? And I said, he just said it was long. She goes, it was like 3 hours long. It was like over 3 hours long. So I was asking Alex, I was like, well, who was in it? And he goes, because back in the day, it would be like bars, drag queens, things like that. He said, Peter, there was a whole entire section where like they had church after church after church after church. And it was like, he was like, there was like 4 Catholic churches in a row that were like, we believe in you, we accept you, we love you, and all this kind of stuff. He's like, it's like every company, like every like, Lilly and pharmaceutical, Roche, all these pharmaceutical companies, like trying to show inclusivity and diversity, which I think is great, right? Like, I think that where we're at, he was like, the parade was so long. And he was like, you couldn't get any out. And I mean, we had to stay there. That's why we had to stay there, because you couldn't get out anywhere, right? And then they put all these rules around the festival, which I thought was interesting. He didn't go to the festival. And she didn't go to the festival when I was talking to her today. She was like, because Alex went to this bar and she went to a bar. And so she was just like, yeah, she was like, it was too busy. We were like, there's no way. They put all these rules. Alex said there was a ton of dogs downtown last night or yesterday. He was like, there were dogs everywhere. People had all their dogs out, right? Which is, I mean, that's kind of a Pride Day thing. Everybody has their dogs and brings their dogs. And I remember we took Pee-Pee to Pride Day one year, like when we first got together and stuff. Well, they weren't allowing any dogs in this year. And then it was like, you couldn't bring any coolers. Well, a lot of people bring their own like coolers in and drinks and stuff like that. You couldn't bring alcohol in, but you could bring pops and things like that. And then it seemed like the festival, like they were like putting all these restrictions around it. I think a lot of people didn't go to the festival this year because of that. I think they went to the parade, and I think they did what Alex does and gets like a table along there. But I don't think I mean, I'm sure the festival was packed. I'm sure it was packed. But a lot of people that I would know, I don't think they went to the festival. Because there was I was even seeing people that are like really in the scene today, like drag queens that are still like active, and they're like, why are they changing all these rules at Pride? Like, this makes no sense. So that was interesting. But anyway, they said that the thing was like the Pride Parade was so long. Alex and this manager did. But I will say this, I love the inclusivity of it. I love that churches and businesses and companies and all the schools and whatever are trying to show inclusivity and diversity on Pride Day in the month of June. My opinion's kind of changed about this in the last year, if you want to know the truth. I don't know really why. That around the end of May, beginning of June, you start seeing like every brand having like the Pride section. And I was seeing something the other day, I can't remember what it was some brand I looked at, and it was like our Pride collection, and there was nothing prideful about. I mean, there was nothing different about it. Was just, they called it their Pride collection, but it was literally like, I think it was like some shorts I was looking at or something on some short website, but it was literally like they had 6 colors of shorts, and like the shorts were like navy blue, khaki, but there was like a red pair of shorts, and but they called them like their Pride collection. I was like, you literally have these shorts up year round. Now they're your Pride collection because it's June. I do kind of like take a little bit of an issue with that. Like, if you're gonna stand behind, if you're gonna stand behind us, during Pride Month, because you want to display that you demonstrate inclusivity and diversity in your workplace and in your business, and show it the whole year round. Like, it shouldn't just have to be a month, right? Like, I appreciate it. I think it's great. Like, we've come a long way, okay, since I was in high school. Leaps and bounds, But, like, can we maybe, like, now push it all the way through? Like, You know, can these same businesses and schools stand up for the kids that are killing themselves from being bullied for being gay? I mean, can you guys come out and speak about it on those days? When trans women of color are being murdered in the streets, can you know, these churches and these pharmaceutical companies and big businesses that want to show inclusivity, can you talk about it on that day? Can you put out a statement that we stand with so-and-so on that day? When a trans woman of color is beat to death on the streets? I mean, there's a lot of times that we need your support. That's not just when it's popular during Pride Month, you know? I love that people want to be prideful during Pride Month. I think that that's great. And like I said, you know, back in the day when we couldn't get beer companies and, you know, liquor companies, Absolute Vodka was like the very first one ever to support, like, you know, that I remember of. I remember there was a whole thing about Coors and all this kind of stuff, and then nobody would drink Zimas anymore because of all that kind of stuff. You know, it was hard to even get a liquor company to sponsor a Pride event. Now we got companies, you know, bending over backwards, dying to, you know, they'll do anything to be in a Pride parade. Well, it's one thing to walk down the street, and I appreciate that. Like, that's a scary thing as an ally in today's times, to walk down a street and wave a flag, you know, and stuff like that. Like, that's a scary thing to do. I appreciate that from allies of mine. I just wish people would think it through. There are other days that we need you, you know? I don't think that it's a stretch for anybody to believe that minority groups and oppressed people are used every single day to push other people's agendas. Okay, well, sell us what you got, but then back us up on the days that we need you as well, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, if not just for a headline or to show inclusivity or things like that. So anyway, but I can tell you right now, it's a good thing I didn't go, because I wouldn't be sitting through no 3-hour parade, okay? I like a good parade, like the Macy's Day Parade, but turning it on TV and seeing 20 minutes of it. I liked the Pride Parade back in the day, but sitting out in the hot sun and all that kind of stuff, no ma'am, I wouldn't love all that, not for 3 hours. I made the right decision yesterday. So anyway, you know, I was thinking about it, like, the year that I went to, like, Denver, and I feel like there was, like, that year I went to a couple prides, but I don't remember ever going to the parade. When I went to Denver, I don't even know if we went to the festival. We went out to the bars. I do remember that. Met some cute guys. I got me a little Denver boyfriend for a while. I don't know where he's at today, but anyway. I sure do remember what his name is, though. I should just say it on video. Why would anybody care? But anyway, he's probably not even around anymore. I go on these little trips and I get me a boyfriend, you know, here. I get me a boyfriend in Vegas. I get me a boyfriend in Denver. I get me boyfriends, you know, here and there. Anyway, God. I'm married now. I don't have boyfriends in every city anymore, but that was fun. It's kind of a funny story how I met that guy. Because I thought he was, like, hitting on my friend, and he was like, I said to him something about my friend. I was like, you're wasting your time with my friend, because he's, like, married down, like, live in a house together, all this kind of stuff. And he's like, I'm not hitting on your friend, I'm hitting on you. And I'm, like, so clueless about that stuff. Like, when people are hitting on me, I have no clue. And I was like, oh, you are? He was like, yeah. And, like, his name's not Tim, but let's just say if it was Tim, but it was, like, instead of T-I-M, it was, like, Tim with a Y. And so, whatever his name is, my friend and I, we always referred to him as, like, it's not Tim, but let's just say if it was, we always referred to him as, like, it doesn't matter, we called him, it was Mike, and we called him Mike with a Y, because his name was, like, something with a Y. So, this was, God, so many years ago, and we were like, we would be like Mike with a Y, or something like that. I know my haters are out there looking for him, all this kind of stuff. He ain't on social media, I know that. I don't even think he spells his name with a Y anymore, and if you can find him, let me know. But anyway, he was a real nice guy, he was really nice, but I think he was like he's been with somebody for a long time, probably as long as I've been with Alex. So anyway, my friend used to give me updates on him. He'd be like, I saw Mike with the Y out, and this was like 15 years ago. And I'd be like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, he's got a boyfriend now. They've been together for a while and stuff like that. He was a real nice guy. But anyway, That was kind of a moment, though, wasn't it? Like, I think back on that when he said, I wasn't hitting on your friend, I was hitting on you. That's kind of like, what they call it, cute me? Is that what you call it? I don't know, but that was kind of like a moment in the movie. You know, I can remember we were standing in this bar, and what was that bar called? No, Charlie's is in Vegas. What was the bar? Is there a Charlie's in Denver? What was the bar called that we were sitting in? I can see it. It's like this wooden area. And they used to have like two-stepping, and then that two-stepping would, like at midnight, it would turn over and it was like disco. We used to go to all these bars. Denver had some fun. My camera stopped. Denver had some fun gay bars back in the day. They probably still do. They had this night, if anybody's from Denver and you remember this, they had this night on Sunday nights, and I don't remember where. It was on some top of some bar, but it was called Vinyl, okay? And you would go out there. I had a little crush on the DJ at the same time too. He was friends with my friend that lived out there, so I kind of got to know him a little bit, but he was real cute. And he had like a beard and stuff like that. I can't remember what that guy's name is, but he always wore kind of like a Hawaiian shirt and he had like a beard and stuff like that. Oh my God, he was such a great. He'd always play that Estelle song, I'm American Girl. Do you remember that? That was that year, okay? And so anyway, but Vinyl was like on the top of this like building that had a bar in it, but like the top was all like white vinyl couches and chairs, and everybody would stand around. Oh, and then we would go to Beer Bust at the Wrangler on Sundays. That was always fun too. I think we would do that like during the day, and then we'd go home and take naps, and then we would go out at night and we would go to Vinyl. I feel like Vinyl was on Sunday nights, and then I usually flew out on Mondays. I went out there several times that summer, and I stayed for like 4 or 5 days each time. I was going out there like every 3 weeks because I thought I was going to move to Denver. That was so much fun. My friend and his husband, well, now husband, they lived in Cherry Creek, and I can remember from his balcony you could look down and you could see like from like the very distance. They had the most gorgeous 3-story townhouse in Cherry Creek. And you could look down and you could see from their patio the beginning of the mall. And I remember we would drive down there. This little dog, she's since passed away. And she's this little chihuahua. She was so cute. She was like, I loved her so much. She was like this big, and he always put little dresses on her and stuff like that. She loved to be dressed up. And we'd take her, and we would go down to Starbucks at Cherry Creek, and we would go down there and we'd get our coffee, and then we'd sit outside on the patios with her, his little dog. And we would, we would sit out there and we'd do the crossword puzzle, because he's my friend that we would do the crossword puzzle on the phone together, you know, and stuff like that. And so we do the crossword puzzle, and then when we got done with the crossword puzzle, we'd like go driving around. We'd take her back home, because by that point she was ready for a little nap. So we'd take her home, and then we would go drive around, and we would drive like all through Denver, Cherokee Park. No, Cherokee Park's Louisville. What's the park in Denver called? We drive all through that park and stuff like that. And he would make me these CDs. Like every weekend that I would come out there, he would make like 3 CDs for our week. It was like all like old music, like Climax, because that was the song that we used to like change our model tops to. Smoking or meeting in the ladies' room. And then American Girl, like 3 mixes on it by Estelle, and some other music. Sade, he loves Sade. Sade mixes, Pearls, the remix. I love that song. Those were fun weekends though. You know, I'm not good at that anymore. Like, I don't know if it was maybe because my mom passed away, but it was like a couple years out, like I was like that. I was real good at like on a Friday, or if I went out of town. Well, that summer was so bizarre because I was traveling so much by myself, right? Not just to Denver, but to a lot of places, flying all over by myself. My mom passed away, and I got more afraid of some things and less afraid of others. I don't know if that makes sense, but I did not have a hard time like just detaching from the world and just being like, that was like a year for me to just like, after my mom passed away, like just live in the moment. Like, you're gonna talk about living in the moment. Like, I did a great job of it, like that year. I mean, like, just even, like, moving to Denver, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to move to Denver. When? I don't know. I'll figure it out when I'm going to do it. Then I came back the last time, and Alex had messaged me and was like, when are you going to take me on that date? And I thought we were done. Like, I hadn't talked to you since April, you know, or something like that. I mean, I think we talked a couple times in between there, but I hadn't really seen him. And I was like, when do you want to go? Or something like that. And then I canceled the date like 2 or 3 times. I remember the last time I was talking to my friend in Denver, and he was like, I mean, worst case scenario, you make a friend, just go. Never thought 16 years later we'd be sitting here, you know? Remember when Alex, like our first day, later he said, he was like, you were so comfortable, so easy to talk to. I like literally showed up in like shorts and like, or jeans and like a t-shirt. I like didn't dress up at all for this date. And he was like, you just showed up and you were, I think I maybe had a Western shirt on or something because I wore a lot of those back then. And just like sandals. He's like, you were so comfortable. He was like, it was like the easiest conversation. We like hardly ate our dinners. We took him home. Well, I found out later that Alex was like going on dates so he could take his food to work the next day. But he had a date the next night planned, okay? My husband, so he had like 5 dates set up for like the next 5 nights. So we went on our date and then he canceled all the other dates after that. But he was kind of Holly Golightly a little bit in that way. He was, I kind of love that he was so honest, honest about it. I said to him something at dinner like, it was towards the end of dinner, and I said something to him about, like, do you want to, like, I said something like, do you want to hang out after this? He's like, yeah, sure. And I was like, do you want to maybe go on another date tomorrow night? And he was like, well, I have a date tomorrow night. And I was like, what? Because I've never been somebody that's dated multiple people good at the same time. He's like, well, I already have another date tomorrow night. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, well, let's see how the rest of the evening goes. I might cancel it. And I was like, okay. And then I remember the next night we went, he like called me from work and he was like, so I canceled my day if you still want to go on a date tonight. I was like, okay. So we went. And then it was like the next day he did the same thing. And I can remember like that night I asked him like, did you cancel your dates for the next 2 nights? He's like, no, let's just play this day by day. I mean, he was real honest with me. Alex was real honest with me. I mean, from the very get-go, he was like, I'm not looking for a relationship. I don't want to be in a relationship. I think it was a couple weeks later he told me, I said something about all these dates that you had set up. He was like, yeah, because like guys would take me out to dinner. And he was like, and then, and he was like, then like whatever I didn't eat at dinner, I would take to work the next day of the night. He was like, you know, I just got done with college. I didn't have a lot of money. This is, you know, the way for me to do it and all this kind of stuff. Which was so funny because later, Alex's ex, who we're totally fine with today, but like he and all of his girlfriends, like Alex, we had started dating for a little bit, and like all of his girlfriends came up to me. I was out one night, and he was like out of town for the night or something like that, and they were like, Alex is a gold digger and blah, 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 and he'll use you just the way that he did his ex. When Alex was the one paying for his ex's phone bill, Alex was still paying for this for his ex. Because he would ask me, he'd be like, do you think I should just cut off the phone bill? And I was like, no, like, give him a warning, you know, whatever. He's like, okay. So, like, he was still paying for his ex's phone at the time, this gold digger, right? But they got in my ear. I think I've shared this story on here before. But they got in my ear. And at that time, we were going out to dinner a lot, you know, and stuff like that. And I was paying for most of the dinners, you know. I was paying for stuff when we would go out places and whatever. And so, I like, and you know, and I just recently, well, I've talked about it a lot over here, but I had all this debt too, right? You know? Something that Alex was completely unaware of. It wasn't like I was like laying all my cards on the table. I did, after we had this conversation, I did. But I said to him, so I called this friend of mine, this friend that like I've been friends with. I've talked about him on here before. He was at our wedding and stuff like that, that I've known since I was like 18 years old. And we've been really good friends ever since then. And I called him and I said, all these people are like telling me, all these people that are friends with Alex's ex are telling me that he's a gold digger and stuff. And he's like, what do you think? And I said, well, I don't know. And what's so funny looking back on it was like, I had no money, okay? It wasn't like I had like, I mean, I know that people like online are like, oh, his dad gives him everything, blah, blah, blah. If you had any clue how untrue that is, like, my dad is not that person at all. I don't even know that when my dad passes away that I'll even be left a cent. And don't care. My relationship with my dad is 100 times more important to me than me ever being left a dollar. And if you're in my personal life, you can sign off in the comment section below because you know I've said that for many, many years. For years and years. My relationship with my dad is 100 times more important to me than anything he would leave me. It would not surprise me if my dad left all of his money to some kind of animal charity. It just wouldn't surprise me at all. And it's his money and he can do exactly what he wants to do with it. I don't feel entitled or have any right to that money whatsoever. My dad's helped me out a couple times through the years, and every cent I have paid him back. And that's been the arrangement we made once I got sober, and I said to him, I can no longer take money from you. So any money that he has ever helped me with, which I think the last time he did was after my mom passed away, I have paid him back every cent of that. So when people say that stuff to me, I'm just like, okay, believe what you want to believe. There's no truth to that whatsoever, right? But it wasn't like I had, like, you know, $1 million, let alone even probably $5,000 in the bank, you know? And so here I am thinking, like, oh, he's a gold digger or whatever, right? Like, what did I have that he wanted, you know? This condo that my mom had just passed away in. I mean, it wasn't like it was like, you know, a 7-room mansion or something. It's 1,200 square feet. That's including the basement, right? So, you know, I mean, it's like, I mean, it's nothing, like, I mean, it's literally like the size of an apartment. It's nothing grand, right? So I'm sitting there having this conversation with him, and my friend says to me, well, I mean, it's such a joke in retrospect, but my friend said to me, well, like, are you paying for a lot of meals and stuff? I said, yeah, most of them. He goes, well, then just stop paying for them. He's like, if you know, if people are saying he's a gold digger, take away the gold and see what happens, right? So after that, I stopped buying gifts. It was like a couple weeks I stopped doing that. We stopped going out to dinner, and Alex one night said to me, he goes, can I ask you a question? And I said, yeah. He said, I don't really care. He said, but, like, I've noticed that we've, like, stopped going out to dinner and stuff like that, like we used to. We were every night, we'd go to the gym, go out to dinner afterwards, you know, all this kind of stuff. And I said, well, yeah. And I'm just like, you know, I just can't not be honest. And so I was like, well, some of your girlfriends came up to me. He's like, who? What girlfriends? And I was like, he goes, oh, no, you mean those are his friends. They hate me. Those girls hate me, right? And, like, Alex and his ex are totally fine today. And I see his ex out, we're totally fine today. But it was not good. It was volatile when we first got together. Like, and so anyway, and he's a really nice guy. Like, I wish him, you know, no harm. But, like, you know, it was bad. They had dated in college and stuff like that. So anyway, he's like, no, those are his friends. Like, they hate me. And he's like, what did they say? And I said, well, they said that you're a gold digger and that they're, you know, out. He's like, what? And he's like, they said that you're a gold digger and that's why you were with me. And Alex is like, okay, wait a second. He's like, first of all, this is the honesty of my husband, okay? He goes, if I was a gold digger, he goes, I would dig a lot deeper. He goes, I would date somebody that was going to put me up in my own condo and buy me a car. He goes, this ain't what I would be digging for right here. He goes, I'm with you because I like you. He's like, and I thought you had debt. And I was like, I do have debt. And he was like, okay, so since you want to be honest about all this stuff, kind of how much debt do you have? Well, that was when I was like, I have, you know, over $80,000 worth of credit card debt. He's like, excuse me? He's like, do you think that I might needed to know that before we got in this relationship, you know? I was like, okay. So that was when Alex was like, we'll get through this. Whatever you need to do. That was when I started, like, the Dave Ramsey snowballing the debt. He was like, well, you know, use coupons. Well, if we need to do a date night every 2 weeks, we'll go to Applebee's. He was the one that, like, really inspired a lot of that stuff with that. And I was like, this guy really cares about me. Like, he, you know, like, he really cares about me. And Alex's love language has always been that, of being, like, desperately loyal, taking care of somebody, thinking of solutions. He is such a, like, a solution-oriented person. Like, any of his friends come to him, he's always like, well, this could be something that you could, I mean, he doesn't say this is what you have to do or this is what you need to do. He's like, this is something that you could do. And he comes up with great solutions, you know? And I can remember in that moment, I was like, and it's interesting to me, like, those people that said all that stuff, you know, many of them, and I don't wish any of this on them, but most of them have gone through 5 and 6 different relationships. And we're still together after 16 years, you know? And so it's crazy to me that I look back on that, and neither one of us really wanted to be in, like, this die-hard relationship. Like, it wasn't like, neither one of us. I will say, I was always looking for something, right? But I was thinking I'm gonna move to Denver. I thought this would be one date and it would be over. Little did I know that we'd spend every day together for the next 6 months. I don't think we spent a day apart. I mean, with work and things like that, but we spent every night together for forever. I mean, it was a long time. That first year was crazy. It was fun, though. I'll never forget, we were sitting in my living room, or standing in our living room, and he was like, you think I'd be a gold digger for this? He's like, oh no, I would have some man put me up in my own condo and buy me a car. He was like, no. I dig a little deeper if I was going to dig. I think it's that honesty and that I remember sitting on the couch that we had in there. It was my mom's couch. We don't have it anymore, but it was like this burgundy couch, and we were sitting in there. This is probably like a month or two after we started dating. Well, he'd know, because he didn't tell me he loved me until a while. He's like, he would always say, I can't say I love somebody until I've been with them for a year. That is such bullshit. That is such nonsense. I hate that when people say that. Just say that you love them when you love them, right? I think he ended up, we started dating in August. I think it was around somewhere in September that he said something like that to me. That he loved me. Didn't wait a year, because he knew he did. And so I said something to him. We were sitting in there and we were having a conversation. We had a fire made. We just got back from dinner and stuff, and we were just sitting there talking. We used to do a lot of that, and we first got together. Now it's like in car rides and at dinners, but back then we would like make a fire and just sit in front of there and stuff like that. I told him the other night, I was like, we need to do like, you can have some wine, I can have like, you know, like a Sprite or something on the back porch, make a charcuterie board, because our friend made that charcuterie board the other night. We could just have like conversations when you get back from work outside. He's like, yeah, I think that would be really fun. We should do that. So I think we're going to do some of that on the back patio. You try to use the back patio this year. I haven't even cleaned it off yet, the table or anything. And that, to be honest with you, that just occurred to me right now. Like, that's how sad that is. But anyway, I remember we were sitting in there, and I said to him, what is it that you love about me? What's one specific thing that you love about me, you know? And this is where I think that how Alex presents himself, like what you guys probably see of him, is different than who he really is in person. And I'll never forget, he like looked at me and he said, and I thought he was going to say something like, your eyes, or, you know, a lot of people say that, which is very nice, and I appreciate that, but it's not like I did anything for my eyes. It's genetic. You know, I thought he'd say something like that or whatever, and he said, you make me want to be a better person. He said, because the way that you treat people makes me want to be a better person and treat people the same way. And I thought, that is such a powerful compliment. Like, that is such a powerful compliment to say that to somebody, you know? So anyway, I don't even know how I got into talking about Alex, but here we are all these years later. Cheers. We're still together. 16 years. It'll be in August, and 13 years married. It's crazy. So anyway, I got up last night, and I was like, I watched End of the Valley. I have to say, I started off hating that show, but I love that show now. It is so good. And Brittany finally kind of comes into her own a little bit, but we'll see what happens. It's the exact same cast as last season, but like half the cast is getting divorced or they're separated. Like, can somebody explain to me how that's going to work? But I kind of love it. Alex doesn't want to watch it because he hates Jax Taylor, but I really think that he would love it because it's all his age group. And, which is kind of crazy to think when you're sitting there watching all these people that have like 2 and 3 kids and houses in the valley, but they are all Alex's age group, most of them. So watched The Valley last night, finished that, and then I was like, okay, I was like looking through these like true crime shows, and I was like, nothing was really standing out to me. So if you know a good true crime show, please put it in the comment section below. Bridgerton, the second part, comes out this week. I can't wait. When does it come out? It comes out, I think, on the 13th. Thursday night at midnight, probably, because it's going into Friday. Cannot wait to see the last 4 episodes of Bridgerton. So we'll see what happens with all that. I cannot wait for that. I kind of already know what's going to happen, but anyway. So if you want to hear my thoughts on what I think is going to happen on Bridgerton, let me know in the comment section below. You'll be like, save it for Peter Watches TV. I should probably save that for Peter Watches TV. I should do my predictions and see if I'm right or wrong. Although I think they're based on books. So you could probably know, right? Is the book of this out already? I don't know. I haven't read them. But anyway, so I was like, okay, I'm going to go in and I'm going to watch Survivor. Because I was really loving when I was watching Survivor. And it was so lighthearted and it just made me really, really happy and stuff like that. So I went in and I started watching. The last season of Survivor that I watched was 43. So 46 just happened. 47's coming out in the fall. I watched 45 last fall, so I went back and watched 44, and so somebody on my video said 43 is a really good season. So I went back and I started watching 43, okay? I'm like 5 minutes into it. They're on the beach. He's talking to people. Jeff Probst, the host, is talking to people. And it's like the second person he talks to. The woman he talks to first, he says something about, she's like, this is like a dream of like my dad and I's. And when he immigrated here from China, this was like the first American U.S. show he watched. And I've watched it ever since I was a kid, and so this is like a dream for both of us. Then he goes to this other guy, and he's like, why are you here? And the guy's like, well, when so-and-so won on his season, and they show it. And I'm like, are you you fucking kidding me? Like, why do you do this every season of Survivor? And then I have to go back and watch that specific season. And then in that specific season, they say something else about somebody won on this season. Then I have to go back and watch it. I thought, no, I'm not doing this. So I turned off season 43 and I was like, you just need to do this the right way. And so I went back and I started watching episode 1, season 1, Richard Hatch in the tree and all this kind of stuff. Y'all, are you Survivor watchers? If you're Survivor watchers out there, please go back and watch that first episode on Paramount. It's on Paramount, okay? Please go back and watch that first episode of Survivor. I'm halfway through it. I'm gonna binge like 8 episodes tonight. Please go back and watch the first episode of season 1. Okay, I forgot Susan the truck driver, who I love so much. I forgot all these people that were on this show, but can you just please go back? Rudy, the Navy SEAL. Can you please just go back and watch season 1? It is a completely different show. A completely different show, okay? They, like, have everything they need on this beach. They throw everything off into the ocean, and then they swim with it to shore. They got, like, cans of food. They got, like, fishing nets. They've got things to sleep in. They've got boxes to make latrines out of. They've got all this kind of stuff, right? And I had kind of forgot about it because this is, like, I went and looked. Alex and I were talking about this at the so when I was working in treatment, this doctor that I was friends with there, she and I used to love to read. And so we would talk about books that we were reading. And I said something about, there was a book, I think the book was called Marathon Man or something like that. And it was about basically like this idea of like reality television. It was like, does anybody know the show, the book I'm talking about? I feel like it was like a Michael Crichton book or something like that. But it was some kind of thriller. And it was basically about like, they were trying to, like, kill this guy in New York City, and, like, the whole thing was being recorded like a television show, and people were watching it. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Was that book Marathon Man? I think they did make it into a movie. Marathon, here, I'll look it up. But we both read the book. She recommended it to me, and so I ended up reading the book. Marathon Man book. Who is it by? Let's see. William Goldman. This looks like this is it. I feel like this is it. Let's see what this is. Okay. Remarkable career spans. Oh, wait. Is a runner in every sense, racing tirelessly towards his goals of athletic and academic excellence. A race for his life. Is that it? Does anybody know what book I'm talking about? Maybe it's not Marathon Man. Maybe it is this. I don't know. But anyway, I remember she and I'm going to look up Real World first season because Alex was like, I think Real World was the first reality, because I was like, this is the first reality show. So I remember talking to her, this doctor that I was friends with. We would talk all the time, and she said, I said, are you going to watch Survivor when it comes on? And I've talked about this on here before, and she said, no, I'm not going to watch it. She was like, and she referenced this book, and she said, this is where we start, because I feel like maybe it was the first competition show or something, but she was like, this is where we start with a competition show like that. 10 years down the road, we're going to be watching shows where there are cameras in every angles of people's houses and we're hearing everything they say. And it's going to be really intrusive, and it's like, what is reality at that point? It's going to completely skew our image of what is reality. And then we're going to have stars based on, I'll never forget her saying this. We were standing, I can see myself standing in the hallway talking to her. And she's like, then we're going to have stars that are known for things that they say in their house that they're just overheard saying with these cameras. And then it's like, what is really reality? Like, are they playing always for the camera? And I was like, that is never going to happen. Like, this is literally a competition show. And I think back on that, and here we are. Survivor came out, I looked, it came out in 2000. Here we are 24 years later, and that is 100% where we are. And I was like, that is so crazy that, like, she knew all that, you know? Like, how, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people did, but, okay, the first season of The Real World came out, 1992. Yeah, it would have come out in 1992 because that was when, it came out before I got sober. I remember that. And I also remember some other shows I watched at that time too. But I watched that first season. Let's see if I can name them by their pictures. Okay. Eric Neese. Heather. Julie. This guy's like a professor now, but I don't remember his name. This was like the gay character on there. Well, I can't remember his name. Let's see the cast. Now I'm like real interested to see what the cast was. Oh, Norman. Okay. Oh, Rebecca! They called her Becky, though, didn't they? Kevin Powell. That's who that guy is. Oh, you know what? I watched a reunion of this not too long ago. Andre. Is he like the singer guy? Why is it throwing me back to this? Heather Gardner, Eric Nies. Eric Nies is now a model for these Caddis sunglasses, or these Caddis glasses. That's how old I am. Should we see how old Eric Nies is? God, I had such a crush on him back in the day. How old is he? Oh, he was born in May 23rd of 71, so he's almost exactly a year older than me. So if I'm going to be 52, he just turned 53. Oh my God, that's what he looks like now. He still looks good, though. That can't be a recent picture of him. Is it? Eric Nies. Hold on a second. Eric Nies. Why is it misspelling this for me? Okay. Nies. 2024. Oh, I knew. Okay, where is he now? Yeah, that is not a current picture of him, because this is what he looks like now. Oh my God, we kind of look alike in that picture a little bit. My haters are going to live for that. I can see the video now. Peter Monn thinks he looks like Eric Nies. I mean, don't I, though? I mean, he looks a little bit better shape than me. But, like, look, we both have the same... Oh my God, we have the exact same kind of reading glasses on. I think these are blue. I mean, if I was sitting here like this, with no, like, here, let's take the hat off. No, I guess I don't really look like him. A girl can dream, a girl can dream. But anyway, so where is he? What does it say he's doing today? Let's see. Where is he at today? Why did I just see that? Where is Eric Nies now? This is from Distractify. Should we find out where he's at today? You think it'll say something about... This came out in 2021, though. Oh, he was in iCarly? Oh, no, I guess it's just talking about... Those who turn in the... You can watch it on Paramount. 1992. I watched the first couple seasons, probably the first 10 seasons of The Real World. I used to love it. Once again, for the Paramount Plus original The Real World Homecoming. Oh, I did watch that a couple years ago. One roommate who was noticeably absent, but also kind of there, was Eric Nies. Where is Eric Nies now? Oh, they did call her Becky, yeah. Who are these people walking down the street? Oh. These ladies always are such deep in thought. Oh, he tested positive, so he couldn't come to the... Okay, got it. He was on the challenge. I don't really care that much about him, if you want to know the truth. I guess. What is this ad for? The Bike Riders. Is that a new movie out? Who'd care to watch that? Looks like it's the guy from Elvis. Blue, I'm dreaming. I can't sing an Elvis song. What's an Elvis song? Anyway, so I watched the first season of... Or I watched half the first episode of Survivor last night. And then I was like... Of Survivor Season 1, Episode 1. And I was like, okay, you need to go to bed. And I was like, I am loving this so much. Like, Susan, I totally forgot about her. Where she's like, Richard Hacks is like trying to give all this, like, we need to work together as a team kind of stuff. I don't remember anything about it. So I'll find out as I go, right? But she's so funny. I forgot how funny she is. She's like... Richard, she's like, I'm a redneck. I'm not a corporate person. She's like, you want to do teamwork? Then teamwork is moving these boxes. And he's like, well, teamwork is... And she's like, yeah, I don't have time for this, Richard. Like, those were the days of, like, unedited reality TV. Like, those were the days when it was good. Did you guys ever watch Bad Girls Club? Oh, my God. I used to live for Bad Girls Club. I thought that show was so good. So tonight I'm gonna watch. Well, we'll watch RuPaul's Drag Race tonight, and then we'll also watch. Well, I'll watch The Real World, and then I have to watch The Goat and get caught up on my shows. And then y'all pick for me my next thriller. Put a thriller in the comment section below and let me know what my next thriller should be that I should watch online on TV. Put it in the comment section below. You pick it for me. It's got to only be one season though, okay? And like 6 to 10 episodes. But you pick it in the comment section below. Okay, I'm gonna get off here now. So I hope that you guys have a magically amazing Sunday, and then you get refreshed, rejuvenated, renewed, and relaxed for the week ahead. This is gonna be a great week. I can feel it. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. A happy Sunday, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Love you.